This video will demonstrate how to install an Exchange connector for a FaxPress server. In this particular environment, we'll have an Exchange 2003 server. If we browse it to the CD and run the install, it will see that I already had the basic FaxPress client installed, so I'm going to go ahead and choose to install an email gateway. Click Next. FaxPress Plus Exchange connector. Click Next. Choose my particular version. Now I have the third version, Exchange 2003 server, not in a cluster. Note I must be an administrator on Exchange, and I must be a member of the Schema Admins group. Now it wants me to list my Exchange machines or my FaxPress servers. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a FaxPress server. Mine happens to be called FaxPress. There's an option here to checkmark that. In fact, I think I'll just remove that and put that right back in. See, it's the same setting. Notice it says do not use MAPI at the top. Next, it'll give me a list of settings which I should be performing, telling me to give myself basic permissions to the actual mailbox store. And make sure I actually start the connector. At this point, I'm going to go into the Exchange System Manager and take a look at what's been added. Under connectors, I have a FaxPress E2K connector. If I right-click it just right, I'll get a Properties option. And show me what the options are. There's my address spaces. This will determine its scope, whether it affects the entire Exchange organization or just a routing group. Go ahead and turn on tracing. I'll store the trace file there if I need to look at it. And I'll go ahead and right-click and start it. Now I want to actually send something using Outlook. I haven't installed or set up anything special, so I'm going to do a manual addressing of a fax. Notice I put a bracket, fax, : whatever I want to send it to as a username, @fax number, bracket. That information, or the fax, I have one of two options. I had fax or I had FaxPress. If we look back in the Exchange System Manager, under the connector's properties, under address spaces, it showed us the two possible options. This lets Exchange know whenever you address something with a fax or FaxPress at the beginning of it, where it's supposed to redirect it to. Exchange will see anything with those addressing will need to be forwarded to this connector, which is an MTA service. Go back in Exchange, I could look at the actual queues itself, and there should be a listed queue in here for FPCon. It will eventually appear in this directory. Once it passes through, there it is. The gateway service on the actual FaxPress server will absorb that in. I need to only go back into the FaxPress client. Log in once again. And I should be able to go to my outbound faxing queue and see that fax that was sent.